Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got a theory for you that involves a pretty interesting and already talked about prospect in Avengers Endgame, and something that I haven't seen anybody else really bring up yet. So let's talk about the future of the MCU.
Agent Romanoff, you miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Jackman, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
And before we get started, make sure to follow us on Instagram. We got some Marvel-related posts over there. And let's talk about Age of Ultron really quick. While not a movie that was met with the same vitriol as the likes of Thor: The Dark World, it was a divisive movie. An extremely divisive movie. The division was particularly due to Ultron's portrayal, which seemed a little bit light-hearted and comedic compared to what fans expected after seeing the ad campaign for this movie.
Tangled in strings.
Another point of major contention, particularly with fans of the character from the comics, is the fact that he dies at the end of the movie. Ultron in the comics is extremely hard to get rid of. He can escape into the internet, transmit his entire personality into other machines. He's just a very durable villain. So whether or not he's actually dead remains to be seen. Vision supposedly locked Ultron out of the internet. That's brought up in Age of Ultron, but I'd like to think that Ultron, being the character that would probably have the best idea as to whether or not Vision would be able to defeat him in battle, or might have the best idea as to whether or not he is going to lose a fight, maybe had a bit of an escape route. I would like to think he was smart enough to know that he was beaten maybe before that battle even started. Fans have been digging into possibilities about Ultron's return ever since that movie came out, and Endgame is the newest target for that speculation. One fan pointed out this red light that is glowing on Ronan in the latest trailer. Another fan pointed out the fact that one of the voice clips from the latest trailer sounds suspiciously distorted.
Not us.
So why would Ultron rear his ugly, currently vibranium head? Well, after Thanos' invasion, a hiding Ultron could see his opportunity to finish the job. Whether that means defeating the Avengers, or whether that means destroying the entirety of the rest of humankind. And honestly, I don't know that the Avengers would be able to defeat an Ultron that had been upgrading in the shadows, especially when they're so broken up and probably demoralized as they are. Maybe it comes to pass that they accept the fact that they lost, that Thanos defeated them. And maybe they only go back to stop the snap from happening because that snap gave Ultron the opportunity to finish off the rest of humanity. Maybe they're running from him. Whether or not that's the case, the Avengers are going to go back in time as expected. It's either the Battle of New York, maybe another important event, even Thor: The Dark World you could regard as an important event in the timeline of the Avengers. And we know that Marvel plans to recast Wolverine for the MCU following Disney's acquisition of Fox. Now, for Tony Stark and the gang to go all the way back to the Battle of New York and talk to themselves might require some explanation on their part, as it would be very awkward to have a doppelganger of yourself just show up out of the blue and tell you that half of the universe was killed in his timeline. So in explaining themselves, they would probably need to explain how Vision got created, and in doing so, they would probably bring up the fact that Ultron existed, and how much of a horrible, horrible failure it was. Now, can you think of any character in all of Marvel Comics that you wouldn't want to know about a robot army, or a sentient robot capable of defeating superpowered characters on his own? Anyone. I can think of one guy. Bolivar Trask. You might recognize that name because he was featured in the X-Men movies, most recently played by Peter Dinklage in Days of Future Past. He views mutants as a threat to humanity in the comics, and in the movies, we have solid motivation for Bolivar Trask to find that exact same fear. Especially if he's aware of things like the disaster at Sokovia, the Thanos' decimation, and the existence of mutants. Trask is the kind of person that would have been behind the Sokovian Accords 100%, and probably would have wanted even more restrictions on the Avengers. No matter what the heroes do in the comics, Trask really doesn't change a whole lot from this stance. So even if they prevent Thanos from destroying half of the universe, well, it might not be enough. So why would Trask knowing about Ultron be so bad? Well, Trask and his fear of mutants in the comics created an army of mutant-killing robots called Sentinels. Now, in the comics, the Sentinels actually turn against him at one point. They develop a superiority complex and basically decide that all of humanity is not worthy. They should all die. Does that sound familiar? The Sentinels decided humankind should die. Ultron also decided humankind should die. I think that's programming that could mesh pretty well right there. So whether Trask gets his hands on the tech that made Ultron to create the Sentinels, or maybe he's inspired by Ultron and creates the Sentinels, or, my favorite option, maybe Ultron returns in a different movie by hacking the entire Sentinel robot army. No matter what, I'm pumped about the possibilities of the future of the MCU, and I really want to see Ultron in another movie. James Spader did an excellent job with the character given what he had. I think that a lot of fans have warmed up to his interpretation of Ultron. So yeah, Kevin, put him in another movie for me. I'd appreciate it. And now, question time. Do you think Ultron deserves more time in the MCU? And what do you think of integrating the X-Men into the MCU? Let us know in the comments. This has been Adam from Film Artsy, and I'll see you next time.
Film Artsy is the best place for you guys to do it. Please submit your videos to filmartsyofficial@gmail.com, or you guys can click the link in the description. We really want to see what kind of talent you guys can provide. So let us know, send us an email, and we'll check out your videos, and we'll see you all in the next video.
I'm about to.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Hi.
See you guys.
Know anybody?